Hello everyone, it's Loud Potatoes. Thank you for watching, sit back and enjoy. Last time we've seen Yuta just join the fight after Naoya tested Choso and Yugi for a bit. This chapter starts with Yugi asking Yuta who is he. Yuta responds by crushing the entire floor instead of just jumping down to show off his power. And then he asks who is Yugi. It's clear that Yuta is still mad about Sukuna taking Inumaki's arm, and if you wonder why, it's because he was in the same class with Maki, Panda and Inumaki under Gojo, and he had bonding experience with them. We also seen in chapter 0 that Yuta is extremely sensitive when it comes to hurting his friends, and Geto knows it from first hand. And if you want to know more about it, I recommend you to read chapter 0. On the other hand, I got to admit, it's a bit weird that Yuta ignores the fact that he was in a similar position to Yugi. Like Yugi, he was about to be executed and he was saved by Gojo. I also wonder why is he really listening to the higher-ups? Is it because this time it aligns with his interests? Or it's just easy to manipulate and they control all of his actions? Choso is quick to understand that they came to kill Yugi and start thinking of a plan. And while Yuta and Naoya catch up, we see again the comparison between Yuta and Gojo. Again, Yugi is the one that highlighting the similarities to us between Gojo and Yuta. He thinks about the fact that Yuta is also a special grade like Gojo. We've seen it in the last chapter when Yugi thinks that Yuta is Gojo for a second because he has an enormous amount of cursed energy and it reminded him of Gojo. Naoya's and Yuta's conversation continues, and we see Naoya tries to manipulate Yuta. He says to Yuta that he was ordered to kill Yugi just like Yuta, and he is Maki's cousin. And it's funny because we know that Yuta has a soft spot for Maki, but in reality Naoya hates Maki and he's just manipulating Yuta. Naoya asks Yuta in return for his help to not tell the higher-ups when they kill Yugi immediately, because he wants to bait someone using Yugi. We know it's Megumi who he wants to kill in order to be the clan leader, but he doesn't tell it to Yuta because he knows that it's dangerous for him. In this part, it's clear that Naoya is not a good character. He has evil intentions, and we've seen it in the way he treats his uncles, his father, the way he talks about women, and especially Maki and Mei, and the way he tries to manipulate Yuta. While they're talking, Choso comes up with a plan. Yugi will run from Yuta as he's too strong to handle, and he will hold Naoya because he's fast and they can't run from him. It's funny to see how he cares about what Yugi thinks about him, and that all this big brother play still continues. And I wonder when they will talk about what Yugi did to Choso and Todo's memory. It's fascinating, really. The fight starts, Choso starts fighting Naoya, and Naoya is faster, and I think that Choso will have a hard time in this fight because his techniques require charging time. In the other side of the fight, we see Yugi starts running from Yuta, and this time he doesn't try to confront Yuta unlike previous enemies. He already knows that he has no chance in this fight, and it serves to show how strong is Yuta compared to the other enemies we've seen in the previous chapters and arcs. Of course, Yugi can't run from Yuta, and Yuta catches up pretty quickly. And there is this scene when Yugi jumps over a car and punches it over to Yuta, and Yuta just casually throws it back to him, and it serves to show how strong they both are. We also get an explanation about Yuta's power. He's weak physically, but has an enormous amount of cursed energy, even than Gojo. We also see Yugi state that Yuta is the complete opposite of him, because he has strong physique, but doesn't have a lot of cursed energy. Yuta also mentions that Yugi is similar to Maki in his fighting style, and I wonder if somehow that's what will make him spare Yugi in the end of their fight. Of course, we get the comparison between Yuta and Gojo again. Yuta refers to Gojo as the number one sorcerer because he's far more efficient in using cursed energy than Yuta, and in my opinion they are both really strong. They both have healing techniques, teleportation techniques, Gojo has his own techniques with infinite void and all that stuff, and Yuta can copy techniques, so it's hard to understand who is the stronger one, but I think I would give Gojo the edge, but it still doesn't really clear who is stronger. Another thing that is explained in this fight is that usually when you fight an opponent, you can see which part of his body has more cast energy, and therefore you can predict his movements. But in Yuta's case, you can't predict his movements because all of his body is glowing with cursed energy, and therefore it's hard to fight him. The chapter ends that way, and it will be interesting to see in the next chapter what will be in the fight with Choso and Naoya, and what will happen in the fight between Yugi and Yuta. If somehow Yugi can win, it will be a miracle, but I don't think that will happen. I think that Yuta will spare him in the end, or that somehow Yuki will join the fight like we've seen in the previous chapter, that she might be talking about Yugi. I don't really sure. It will be interesting to see what happened to Megumi and the other students. We didn't know what happened to them, and what is the plan of Feigeto, when we will see him again, and when we will see Gojo again. That's it for today. Thank you for watching, and like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more content like this. I am Lord Potatoes, and see you next time.